lips welded shut. Anyway, the whole story behind that premise was the fucking like torturous treatments and experiments that were performed on the people in that insane asylum by the Dr. Vaniket that ran it, that owned it during this like early 1900s, 1930s, something like that. The experiments that he would conduct on them pioneered a lot of the experiments that they outlawed and still use to this day, like electroshock therapy. The lobotomy was outlawed.
See, a lot of those things are still outlawed.
In some places, though. No, not electroshock therapy. Though has become. It's not electroshock anymore because they don't conduct.
It's now considered.
Shocks.
It's not, well, in the new manner. It's now considered therapeutic, but also in the points.
Very minuscule. Yes, very minute. The machines that they create for it now these days are very, very much controlled. Back in the day, you had this radio that you could just turn all the way up and just watch it fucking shake until they fucking bit their teeth so bad they broke their teeth out of their own face and just bled pretty much on the table in some cases because they fucking cranked it up too bad. So anyways, these were the kind of experiences that Dr. Vaniket, I don't know if it's a true story, but I think it's somewhere along the lines of that. Would conduct these experiments, and one of them was throwing his patients into this very gigantic circular chamber. There was a circular chamber that within the walls had this rotating rotating insert like in between. And what they would do is they would use a projector to project certain images on the white part in the back, and they would be still images. But because of the effect with all these slits, very much like those old mechanisms back in the day where it was like a little carousel, and you'd put pictures in certain sides of it, right? And then you'd go spinning it, and it would show the comical, like the
animation, basically.
The animation effects, yeah. Same idea. But what they would do is that they would program certain images that would affect the insane person's mind to triggering them to the most traumatic points of their insanity. Almost to the point of like what do you call it, paralysis. Like they would go into such a paralysis, such a fatigue in their body because of the overstimulation, the trauma that they would overcome them, and then they're pretty much running around the room trying to run away from the images that were being projected to them within this circular area that they had no corners, nowhere to run to hide from, rendering them like disengaged and like having no way of doing anything but just succumbing to it. Some of them would die because like they would die of fright. Their body, the adrenal system, and the high blood pressure, whatever else would go into effect of causing arrhythmia that would cause them to have a heart attack, scaring themselves to death pretty much, but based on what they were triggered to scare themselves to death with, would be a part of the treatment that Dr. Vaniket believed. This is the saying, this is the quote, and this is kind of where I feel like my mentality has evolved from where I used to be this sane to insane person to sane again to insane to sane again. And what it wasn't Dr. Vaniket, I think it was Dr. Vaniket's great grandson or great nephew or something like that inherited the house said what Vaniket believed was what made a sane man mad could make a madman sane. and so on. Does that make sense? So whatever drove a person crazy in the first place is what needs to be used to drive them back to sanity. That's what Dr. Bennekett's idea was with that chamber, and they called it the saturation chamber, which means they saturated this individual in their own trauma to try to drive them back from crazy to sane again by driving the crazy out of them, by overwhelming them in it, basically. That's fucking insane, isn't it? Are you recording me this whole time?